Why the Traveler versus Avatar Aang is actually closer than you think. So basically, if you don't know how strong his Aang is, Aang actually not only move islands and stuff like that, and he also had actually destroyed the moon and stuff like that and everything. But Aang actually has so many souls in one body that he has like more than 9 souls in one body, which makes him like something like which having 9 souls in one body, 9 or 10 souls, actually makes you universal and stuff like that and everything. Meanwhile, the Traveler has actually moved way faster than the speed of light. But in the Avatar universe and stuff like that and everything, moon level feats are actually considered to be average. And the I don't think that base form Traveler can actually beat Aang or anything like that. So base form Traveler versus Aang may actually not be that close or anything like that, but true form Traveler versus Aang is actually very close. But we're not putting against super replicas or hyper replicas against each other, because that's actually a bit too excessive and stuff like that and everything. And, since Aang possesses so many souls in one body, he possesses over hundreds of souls in one body. This actually makes him outerversal, and it actually makes him look superhuman dimensional. Like, it makes him meta fourth dimensional, if not meta superhuman dimensional and stuff like that and everything. Which, since like base form Traveler is only like lightning speed, but Aang is significantly faster than the speed of light, true form Traveler also becomes way faster than the speed of light, which actually just becomes way much closer than we thought. And not only that, but the Traveler also possesses 9 souls in one body, which would make him universal and stuff like that. Although Avatar Aang might actually struggle with challenging the Traveler in terms of elements and stuff like that, but in terms of experience, Aang actually wins. In terms of power, it's actually still way closer than we thought. And basically, not only that, but yeah. So, if we were to and not only that, but the Traveler actually has outerversal manipulation powers. And Aang also has a true form mechanic, and he has so many color forms and stuff like that and everything, to the point where it's more powerful, because white mode is the most powerful color forms. But if we were to take this from perspective of Aang also has up to a SSCG3 amount of color forms, which actually makes him SSCG outerversal. Meanwhile, the Traveler actually has so many souls in one body that he's like SSCG versal and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, thanks to Death Battle's analysis and stuff like that, I mean, I still think that the Traveler won and stuff like that and everything. But I still think that the loser could like beat the winner there still. So yeah, I mean, it's actually way closer than we think and way closer than we thought and stuff. So if you were, yeah, I think both characters can actually beat each other. So if the Traveler manipulates Aang's element way stronger than he can regenerate and stuff like that, then I think the Traveler actually wins and stuff like that. He actually wins. Yeah. And if like the Traveler used elemental whole manipulation powers stronger than Aang can like even use elemental whole manipulation powers, then the Traveler wins. Which, I mean, there is such thing as fire holes, air holes, earth holes, and water holes, and also as well as ether holes. But if Aang were to turn any element into a inanimate object and stuff like that, or a animate object, potentially manipulating life and stuff like that and everything, and even surpassing limits and stuff like that and everything. And if we were to if Aang were to use elemental web manipulation powers and elemental powers with super replicas and stuff like that. For example, water 1 to water X, earth 1 to earth X, fire 1 to fire X, and air 1 to air X, then Aang wins. I still think that's according. While some people might think it's not actually canon or anything like that, it actually is. And Aang also has a Ronna form, which is basically like Roma magic, which Aang's Roma attacks and stuff like that actually has no problems or at all or anything like that. So the gap between Ronna Aang and the Traveler actually becomes way closer than we think and stuff like that and everything. Which, if you don't know what Roma means, it basically means 1 octillion and stuff like that, which basically means 10 to the power of 27. Which the Avatar universe actually exclusively stated a SSCG free amount of dimensions, which is basically which it's actually basically 2 to the power of 200 amount of symbols dimensions, which is greater than tree free and stuff like that, and is also greater than 1 grams number, even greater than a Googleplex, which a Googleplex is equal to 10 to the power of 100. Meanwhile, the Traveler, on the other hand, is basically slightly stronger, but also still in the same dimension. He actually is. the Traveler is also actually SSCG 3-dimensional and stuff like that. And not only that, but yeah, which SSCG3 is equal to 2 to the power of 200 symbols and stuff like that and everything. So this means that the Traveler is like around 200... No, the Traveler is actually around 2 to the power of 200 dimensions and stuff like that and everything. So, if the Traveler manipulates Aang's elements and Aang's elemental whole manipulation powers and his soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of n grand soul stronger than he can regenerate, then I give the win to the Traveler. But if Aang, on the other hand, transmute any and all elements into, like, life forms, which if Aang transmute any and all elements into either inanimate objects or animate objects and stuff, if you use inanimate object transmutation and animate object transmutation and stuff like that, then I give the win to Aang. And if Aang manipulates the Traveler's soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of n grand soul stronger than he can regenerate, and then I give the win to Aang. And also as well, if like Aang transmute anything, if Aang used inanimate object transmutation and object transmutation and stuff like that and everything, then I actually give the win to Aang. And also if Aang used elemental web manipulation powers such as like fire web manipulation power, earth web manipulation power, water web manipulation power, air web manipulation power, and stuff like that, then I totally give the win to Aang. And also not only that, because like elemental holes are like similar objects to black holes and white holes, and elemental webs are like similar things, similar to the bright web and the dark web. So it's like internet logic. Elemental webs are like a internet thing similar to the bright web and the dark web, and elemental holes are like basically cosmic holes similar to like black holes and white holes. Meanwhile, Aang also has elements with legend replica manipulation powers, aka element with plus replicas, and so does the Traveler. While the Traveler and Aang both have fire legend manipulation, water legend manipulation powers, earth legend manipulation powers, and air legend manipulation powers. And they like both basically have, which it means that they have water plus manipulation powers and earth plus manipulation powers and fire plus manipulation powers, and also as well as air plus manipulation powers and stuff like that and everything. So yeah. But I mean, I still give the win to the Traveler. But if Aang used Elemental, and also not only that, but the Traveler basically possessed more elemental powers than Aang even does. So I give the win to the Travelers. But if Aang were to use inanimate object transmutation and stuff like that, and multiple color forms in one, and also as well as using soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of and grand soul manipulation powers stronger than the Traveler can regenerate, then I think Aang wins. But if the Traveler manipulates both of Aang's elements, including fire holes, water holes, earth holes, and even air holes, and even manipulate his soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of and grand soul stronger than he can regenerate, I think the Traveler wins. But who do you think wins still? And stuff like that and everything. Which honestly, I think the Traveler wins, but you could decide. It all depends on who wins. So, yeah, it's actually way closer than we thought. And in terms of power and stuff like that, they're both pretty close in terms of power. They actually are. And stuff like that and everything. So basically, the only thing Aang actually truly lacks and stuff like that and everything is elements and magic, because neither characters are infinitely powerful or anything like that. And Aang is not infinitely powerful, and he doesn't really possess the infinite amount of elemental superpowers in one or anything like that. But yeah, and both characters are actually immune to like anti-spiritual spell effects. Like, both characters are immune to anti-spiritual effect spells, and both characters are like basically immune to anti-magic effect spells and stuff like that. So if basically the Traveler attacks Aang's body, soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of and grand soul stronger than he can regenerate, and also as well as using Aang's element against his own advances and stuff like that, then I give the win to the Traveler. But if Aang uses like Earth 1 to 172 or more powerful, like super replica elements, and water to 172 or more powerful, and fire 1 to 173 or more powerful, and air 173 or more powerful or anything like that. And if Aang manipulates the Traveler's soul, grand soul, great grand soul, and great to the power of and grand soul stronger than he can regenerate, then I think Aang actually wins here and stuff like that and everything. But I still give the win to the Traveler and stuff like that. Although it depends on which character can beat which. So who beats which and stuff like that, it all depends. And stuff like that and everything. Whether if Aang uses elements with super replicas and also Omni soul manipulation powers, but if the Traveler uses Aang's elements against him stronger. Wait, if the Traveler use elements against him and attacks faster than his soul, grand soul, and great grand soul, then he can regenerate, then I give the win to the Traveler. But I still think the Traveler wins. But who do you think wins? And who do you think wins? But you can decide.